Hello, thanks for using Busae. Here you can see a tutorial video about the first configuration needed to be able to use Busae system. You can see the video index with every minute and second where it starts each section. We hope it can help you to profit as much as possible the video. We prefer work with tutorial videos instead of written documents. We think it's quite better. Let's start. Of course, first, we have to log into the system. The first page should really appear is that one, the dashboard. The dashboard is a resume about the configuration down. Let me explain you better one by one. On the top, we have the common icons for all lines. I mean, we always need drivers, buses, and telephones already confirmed into the system. This is basic. As you can see now are in green, it means we already have this data completed on the system. In your case, once you start, everything will be gray. So when you complete each section, will become green. On the bottom, we have the line. If we click on it, we have a specific information for this line. Once every section has data inside completed, will become green, so finally the line will be ready and you'll be able to see right icon as OK in green, so driver can start using the line on the mobile phone or tablet. First icon is about stops, if we already create some stops or not. We have prices, departure times, printer. In this case, I don't print tickets, so I don't need to configure it. That's the reason it appears with a cross. Type control if we want to control arrival times on the stops. Last option is variable price. Just in case our company manages different prices depending on origin and destiny of each passenger. Then we have to set up prices for every combination. Okay, let's go one by one. You should already create a company when you register. So now let's create one line. As you can see, we decide names and fill out the data. But there is some points need to be clarified better. Let's edit the line I already have created for your better understanding. Okay, this is a line created as an example in Bangalore, India. On the top, we just write name and also we should decide a code, whatever we want. We use a lot of codes because on reports it's quite better so codes to be able to see much more information on the same page. Next point is collector. What does it mean? There are many countries where driver is not the one who sells tickets. There is one extra person inside the bus, specifically to sell tickets and get money. If this is your case, you should mark on there. What will happen on driver application is, every day, starts using Busae application, need to identify driver and collector, both. Each one has to enter its personal password, so you control perfectly who is really on bus during the service. Okay, let's go next. Next decision is which kind of line is the one you are gonna create. We differentiate two kinds, circular and journey. For example, this one works using journeys. As you can see, there are two. One is going and another for coming back. No need to use specifically the same stops. They can be different. Let's draw it for better understanding. On the left, we can see the journals made with two trips. Each one starts from a green point and ends at the red point. So all passengers get out the bus at this point. In case we use a circular line, it means there is no specific starting point or ending point. The bus all time is working on the line. Passengers get in and out whatever they want. Circular line is mostly used in urban lines inside cities. Now you understand the difference between them and you are able to select the one fits you better. Journeys is the most popular configuration used by 95% of the lines. But also inside journeys, your company can use more than two. As you can see, we enable till 4 journeys inside the same line. How it works with 4 journeys? Let me explain you. Imagine your company goes from one point to other, but once achieved the end, driver can use other options, not directly coming back. And finally, they can come back again from each point done. As you can see here, we can have 4 different journeys. Driver application will detect ending stops in each journey. Once finished the journey, driver can decide which journey is going the next, not only to come back. I mean, they can decide, for example, another journey in a different direction. You should understand as well that if you use 3 or more trips inside the line, synoptic view will not be available. Let me remind you, synoptic view is the draft we made on a white paper when appears all stops for go and coming back as a wall. So we see the buses moving inside the wall. This is just an example to explain you how to use journeys inside line. Some companies prefer to set up different lines. It's up to you. Just be aware for the free testing period, you only are able to use one line, as you can see on the top comments. Sorry, better in English. We can check on subscription menu for understand all limits for free version. For the free one, 3 buses, 1 line, 3 drivers, 3 collectors, and 3 telephones. Okay, we can try it for a whole month. And also you have the other options you can detail later with time directly on your system. Okay, let's continue. Stops. We have to create a stops. Okay, to create a stops is really very easy. We use the Google Maps system so that we can write the city and also the country. For example, let's gonna try Bangalore in India. It appears directly the city with the different streets and everything. Imagine we want to create a stop, for example, it's gonna zoom right here, okay, right next to this one. Okay, we move the map so the icon is always in the middle, and we go down, and in downside we can write the stop name. Okay, for example, test, and directly we save. When we save, we already have created a stop. Here on the right, we have the stop. Every stop has a code, a specific code, and we have the circle with a line. Right now, the circle is orange. If we want, for example, to use not the satellite view, we want to use the standard map view. Okay, right now we have to reduce the size of the browser, and it will appear small buttons. Okay, this is a small bug we have right now. It's gonna be fixed in just 1 week probably. And here we have the buttons. For example, we can select this option, the standard map. If we click this option, we can zoom in quite more. So we can go quite closer and detail as much as we want the specific stop. Okay. For example, if we want to do this one, we can go down. It will appear now because we reduce the browser. We go to it, we select again this icon, we get closer, and we decide specifically the place we want to locate a stop. For example, right there in the corner. And we update. So right now it's much more detailed as before. Okay. We most recommend the option of a standard map if we want to detail the position of the stops. So we create a stop. What happens if in our situation, in our country, in our city, the company we are managing, there is no specific stops. I mean, the bus stops in whatever place. No problem at all. We have the system prepared perfectly for that. Just to create the lines and to decide which is the route is making the driver, we just need to create one stop, for example, for beginning and one stop for ending. In the middle, it can stop whatever place, and also we have a lot of reports about the sales in the map and etc. Okay, so just create one for starting and one at the end for each journey. Once we have the stop created, we go to assign the stop to the journeys. we select the journey, we select the trip inside the journey. Sorry, we select the line and the journey. And on the journey, we have on the bottom the list of all the stops created. Okay, this is an example right now. I already assigned. So the situation will be on the top will be empty, will be anything. We just click and we drag to the top. And once we drag, we decide the place where specifically we want to locate a stop in the order we want to do. We just click out and automatically the system save the stop. If we want to move, we can move perfectly one and the other. We can reorder as we want all the stops. So we can drag up all the stops we want specifically for the journey. Okay, let's gonna erase that one to be exactly as before. So we will have all the systems in the journey, or the stops in the journey. Then we go to prices. Okay, we can set up the prices for the lines. We select the line, and on the right, let me click the browser as it was before so we can see it better, everything. For example, on prices, you will see there are some icons on the top right for help that it displays. Sorry, this is Spanish. Let's go to move to English. Okay, now it's English. It speaks about the variable price, how it works, and everything. But I hope this video helps you better than the pop-up. For example, in surprise, we can choose on the right the coins. So every country has different coins. We can select here whatever we want. So in India, it's rupees. Okay, we can use whatever thing. Right now, it's that one, like rupees, standard one. In prices, we have two options: fixed price and variable price. What I mean, fixed price is because the driver always collect the same amount, the same money for every passenger. It doesn't care where the passenger get inside and outside the bus. Normally, it's for urban journeys, urban lines, because it's the same price for everyone. Variable price is depending on origin and destiny about the passenger. The price is going to be different. So that's the reason we call them variable price. For example, if we set up as fixed price, okay, we will see that we can modify at all the system inside. For example, here we have 30. If we can move, we can set, for example, dollars, whatever price we want to. Okay, it's up to you. You can decide whatever. For example, here we have 430 rupees and for normal price. What means normal price? All the people, the standard people. Also, we have specific prices for adult and young people. For adult, we can modify the price. We can set up specifically the price as young, as well as the young price. If we use fixed price, automatically it will be by default the fixed option market in adult price and young price. If we select variable, we will see later how it automatically marks discount with the percentage. For adult people and young people, we can set up here if driver has to take a picture, a photo, for example, for the adult people, or has to know the identification card, ID, or nothing. The same for young people. Um, it's very important depending on the countries. Some companies has to get to the administration, the public administration, details about the young and adult price because they have a discount and have some kind of compensation for the public administration. So if we need this information, we can force the driver to take note about this data. Also, on the bottom, we have open price option. What does it mean? For driver, for example, we can enable or not, depending on what do we want to do, for the driver to open a price for the passenger. I mean, let's go for a situation. Imagine it's a big trip from one city to another city, and some person in the middle of the route stops the bus and demand to the driver to take a baggage, for example, and um, go through till the end of the stop because another person is going to collect this baggage from there. And maybe the driver say okay and want to get some money. So we can control all these kind of services and offer to the passenger the option of open price. Of course, we strongly recommend to use this option if we are printing tickets so we can have a proof for the passenger like we get this money so it's easy for us to control. Mm, that's all about fixed price. Then let's go for variable price. If we select variable price, for example, you can see normal price we cannot write there. Okay, it's not able to write. In other price and your price as well, we cannot write the specific price because there is no specific price as a standard. It always depends on origin and destiny. So for other price and your price, what we do is we decide the percentage of discount that is going to have in each situation the people, adult, the elderly, and also the young people. Okay. For example, here right now it's 50%, and let's set, for example, 20%. Okay. We can save. If we save the price of this line as variable, the next step on the menu would be to go to variable price. On variable prices, we select the line and inside we select the journey. And automatically will appear all the different combinations between the stops. And it's here where we have to set up the prices for every combination. We have all of them. Every time we write the prices in every situation, in every combination, at the end we have the save button. Don't forget to save because normally there are a lot of combinations. Mm, This is very important. The variable prices, many people are interested a lot in this option because you can leave the tickets manually with the different colors and directly the telephone manage very well the variable prices. How does it works? The driver telephone, what it makes is has GPS. So when it achieves the stop, automatically the telephone detects the stop. So we only have to ask to the passenger about the destination and we mark the destination in the phone and automatically we appear the price. So it's very easy to sell different prices. Also, we have departure times. Departure times is we have to set up which is the frequency for the bus in the different journeys to go out. For example, here we have from 6 in the morning, 6 are hours and 00 are minutes, to 10 in the morning, it departures every 5 minutes. From 10 to 7:30, it's every 10 minutes, and then every 8 minutes. We can set up this frequency for normal day, weekend, holiday, and special day. If our company, for example, doesn't have a frequency, it only get out with a specific time, they have departure fixed, we can use this option and we can say, okay, my company, for example, departures every day at 11:27, for example, and we can set up here specifically the timing we have the different exits, okay? And we take note. Okay, these are the two options. Okay, once we save for the first time, it automatically will be saved for weekend, holiday, and special day. Everyone will have the same. Then second time we want to modify whatever frequency, then we have to go specifically for every day we want to use. We define different days because normally depending on the day, the frequency and the departures really change. So you can use as much complicated as you want. Also, we have, of course, the calendar. And the calendar is where we set which are the different days for us. For example, here we have the different days. Okay, automatically you can see on blue the normal days and on green the weekends. Okay, if we want, for example, the 13 to be for us a holiday, we can click holiday, go to the 13. Okay, and the same for special, we click special and we wait for 14. Every time we select a day as a special holiday, we have to save. Okay, also on configuration, we have time control. This is very important. A lot of people like very much the system about to control the different stops and the time that really is doing the bus driver with the planning. So we can select the line, we select also the journey, and then we go and decide if we want to define time between stops or not. By default, it's going to be marked don't want to control times. So if we want to, we have to define and go here on the bottom to define expected times. It appears all the stops from the first one to the end, to the last one. We have to write here the time to achieve every stop from the first one, always from the first one. So the time is going to be accumulated. Okay? These are hours and these are minutes. We are not talking about seconds. It's hours and minutes. We mark the different timing. Okay? And on the right, we have the different mark icons. These icons on the right are only and specifically for timing reports. If we want to control the time in some stops, some countries use, for example, the clocks, they call like clocks. And we have to set up here which stops we want to control the time in the reports. For the driver, every stop will see the driver every time the driver achieves a stop, we'll see on the top on the driver application if it's going on time, delay, or advance. Automatically will appear and it will refresh in every stop. At the bottom, we can decide the margin we want to set for every situation for the advanced minutes and late minutes. Right? Well, for example, we don't care if the bus get advanced 5 minutes. Okay, we can set up here 5, but we don't want any delay, so we can set up 0. Or maybe the route, for example, the journey is very long, and we can set, for example, like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Okay, this is the place we set up this situation. Okay, and we have to do for every trip. Once we save, okay, we should go outside again, inside the configuration, time control, select the line and the other trip, and then we have to decide if we want to define or not, and then set up the other one. Okay, that's for time control. Let's go to the next point. The next point is going to be drivers. Here, drivers, collectors, and buses is just to create them. We need to create telephone. When we use the telephone in the driver, we are not able to use it if we don't assign the telephone for a driver, a collector, or a bus. So we need to create them. Driver is very easy. It's just to create drivers, the name, second name, telephone number. This telephone number is not important. It's just a note for us. The age and the security code. This is very important. Okay, it's gonna see, for example, this example we have right. It's gonna edit one. This security code is the one who driver is gonna use when he log in directly on the system in driver application. And so it's very important to set up it well and to communicate to the driver. Email. The email also here in the driver side is important because at the end of the trip, the driver can select different options, and one of them is to send a report automatically by mail. If we will want to allow the driver to get automatically in his email the report every day, you can write here the driver email. If you don't want, because you only want to have the information on your own, you can set up here directly your company email, not the driver one. This is for drivers. We can click here and select a picture as well. Then we have collectors. We already talked about collectors. Collector is going to be the one who's getting the money in the bus. That, I mean, not the driver. Maybe in some company there are another people just specifically to collect the money. We create them, so we control them on the system. I mean, the driver, when it's going to start, has to get inside, has to log in, use its password, and also if the line is working with collectors, collector has to get inside the system and write down the password in the same telephone. Okay. Normally, when there are collectors, the one who use the telephone in the bus are the collectors. Also, we have buses. Buses, we just create a bus and everything. Okay. In the bus information, there will be some information that the passenger application is going to show the data for the passenger when they are waiting the stops, like plate number, capacity, meters, doors. Okay, this information appears for the passenger, and also as well the facilities like this bus has Wi-Fi, has entertainment system, air condition, whatever. Okay. The security code for buses is if we validate, for example, a telephone, and the telephone is going to be used only in one bus, always in the same bus. Okay, then when we get inside the application for the driver, we have to write down the code of the bus because it's going to be used only in this bus. So when we have everything set up, I apologize because there are a lot of things to set up. The system is very good, it's very complete, but we have to dedicate time, okay, for them, just the first time. Once we have everything, we can go to the driver, install the driver application, and go here because the driver, what it's going to do is going to demand us permission to validate the application and the driver. Because if we don't validate, imagine everyone can download the application and works with your company data like a real driver. So we always have to validate every telephone. Here in telephones, is marked as important. Okay, in telephones we have every telephone request for permission we receive. In this case, there is no one. For example, on the bottom we have the telephones already confirmed. What we do, we go inside one of the telephones. Okay, for example, that one. Uh, let's go one with has a picture. For example, that one. Okay, and we see all the information that the driver is has write down to demand permission for us. We have the time, the day, and the name, the telephone model specifically, the telephone number, and a picture of the driver. This is an example picture. What we can do here is we can decide if this telephone is going to be assigned for a driver, for a collector, or for a bus. I mean, physically, the telephone is going to be always in a driver because it's the driver's telephone. The collector, or it's going to be always physically in the bus. Here is where we decide. Okay, in this case, we assign the telephone to this driver. Okay, we don't know this request because we don't know who is this guy. We can directly deny it. Okay, this is very important because your company is going to be charged monthly depending on the telephone. So depending on the subscription you contracted, every month you're going to have on your credit card a payment with the number of telephones you has confirmed on the bottom. The last point, if your company want to use printer, here is when you can set up the printer details. When you set up the printer details, they are for all the lines. For example, let's gonna select that we want to use printer. Okay, we click to use printer, and here we have a lot of information. We can upload here the logo. I recommend, of course, to be small size logo, black and white, okay, because the printers do not print in colors. And we can decide here which information do we want to show in the ticket. We want to show the time, date, the price, the number of the bus, the driver code, the line, the origin and destiny, for example, and the last 2 points. For example, this is for the discount data we want to appear on the ticket. So if our company, the company name or whatever, we can write here all the company details with the fiscal code, whatever. And the last line is a line that we can customize, for example, at the end of the ticket. We want to see you again, thank you for using our service, whatever. Okay. Uh, about the printer, it's very interesting that every time we modify here something about the text, for example, the last one, it's going to be upgraded automatically in all the telephones. So imagine on Christmas you want to send a specific message, you can write down here a message, and when you save, automatically it will appear in all the tickets. It's going to be printed from this place in the moment. So I think that's all for the configuration. Okay, I know it's a lot of points to configure. Okay, in the next progress on the system, we will improve the system to automatically create a test for everyone, so you don't need to create everything just for testing the application. But right now, I apologize, but you have to set up all the system to start testing the situation, the application. Once you have everything configured, okay, in this part, you already can see live sales, live GPS, reports. There are a lot of reports, messages. I mean, you can do a lot of things. I think that's all. Thank you for your time. This is the first video. We're gonna create a lot of more help videos for you. See you soon, and thank you again.